Okay, so they can play around if they want to, but I'm telling you, we are coming guns a blazing, and it's going to be a scorched earth campaign like he's never seen before. I'm not playing.
All right, my the next question to you is those phone recordings are very incriminating with threats and trying to lure TA into an ambush, which is criminal. Have y'all or you talked to the FBI about these allegations?
Well, I have personally spoken to law enforcement about it. I'm not going to say which agency or agencies because there are multiple agencies, but I've definitely spoken to law enforcement about it. I have contacts within all different spaces. TA did not, but I did. And once my client is threatened, you can forget about that shit. All bets are off. Okay, I'm going straight to the feds. I'm going straight to the state. I'm going straight to local, and I'm going to tell them exactly what it is that I got. And I'm putting them on notice. That my client's life was threatened, and these are the individuals who did it. So, yes, I take that very seriously. So, if I was Pistol Pete and I was and if I was advising a rich player, they should probably lawyer up.
Wow. Whew. Uh, wow.
It's gonna be a very expensive summer, very expensive winter, and a very cold ass fall. First quarter of 2026. That's all I gotta say.
So if you were watching this from the sidelines, right? Like, the Diddy case, when Cassie lawsuit dropped, it was like maybe 30 days later, there was a federal indictment on Diddy. If you weren't involved in this case and you was watching for the sideline, do you foresee that kind of happening with Fat Joe?
But I'm gonna tell you this: when Cassie dropped her lawsuit, it was November of 2023. And then I filed one lawsuit after that on behalf of Liza Gardner in December, I think, or November of 2023 as well. And then I filed Little Rod's lawsuit, and a month after his lawsuit, Diddy was raided. So Little Rod's lawsuit, I filed when I filed Little Rod's lawsuit, which I mean, a lot of people are saying, "Oh, it was dismissed." It was not dismissed. Little Rod's lawsuit is very live, and it's going forward. We have another court appearance on August 6th. So for any of the YouTubers who are saying, "Oh, Tyrone Blackburn lost Little Rod's lawsuit," oh, the lawsuit was no, it was not dismissed. The RICO portion of it was dismissed, but the Trafficking Victims Protections Act claim is 100% alive and is still moving forward. And we have a court appearance in August. So I just want to set the record on that. But after Little Rod's lawsuit was filed, the same way how I contacted law enforcement on behalf of TA. I did the same thing on behalf of Little Rod, and I sat with the feds for almost 2 weeks with Little Rod right next to me, and we sat there from 7 o'clock in the morning to 7 o'clock at night, and we outlined every part of Diddy's house, every house that he owns, each room, what each room has in it, how many steps to enter each room when you walk in from the front door, from the front gate to the security gate, to everything. We tell, Little Rod was very clear. If you are going to raid him, you better raid all properties at the same time because we have internal phone systems that tell you what's going on at each house. And we gave them the phone numbers, which is why they hit every spot the way that they did, literally 30 days after the lawsuit was filed. So do I think that the same thing's going to happen to Fat Joe? I have no clue. But what I do know is I'm going to be bringing multiple people to see them boys about Fat Joe. Oh, you best believe it. You best believe anyone that brings my line and says that they have a problem with Fat Joe or Fat Joe did something to them and they can prove it, and they have witnesses or they have evidence, I'm calling law enforcement. Believe me, it's happening within seconds. I'm not playing with his fat ass. I am calling law enforcement and I'm bringing them people to see them immediately. There will be no hesitation. There is no equivocation. I'm calling and I'm bringing them. And if the prosecutions or if the prosecutors decide to raid Fat Joe, which I don't really think he has anything to raid because he's kind of broke, but if they decide to raid Fat Joe or they decide to come after him, That's on them. But best believe I'm not stopping. He is gonna. I mean, there's a lot more things that he's done. A lot more things that will make what's written in this complaint look like nothing. Trust me. Okay, it is way worse. And I think that you are very smart and you've touched on it yourself. You know, some of those redacteds, you kind of figured out what the redacted is. Okay, and um, I may have mentioned or hinted at a couple, but there's way more than a couple. There's way more than a couple. There's a lot of mothers, a lot of fathers, a lot of sisters, a lot of brothers, a lot of grandparents, a lot of aunts and uncles who've been crying tears at night looking for justice for what happened to their loved one, and soon they will get it.
Well, TA, he's been around Fat Joe for 16 years, so I would think that he knows a lot of stuff. Not saying that he's he has divulged any of this to you, but I would think that if someone is threatening him at this time, it wouldn't be a smart thing for anybody from that side to be trying to do anything criminal to him because at this point, I'm pretty much sure whether y'all went to the FBI or not, YouTube has seemed to be a place that they've been watching thanks to the likes of like Vlad TVs and things like that. We've seen people getting uh, bringing YouTube into the courtroom just uh, as an example of the Dwayne Davis Keefy D case. I've seen like Whack 100 go on Vlad, and then next thing you know, they're talking about him in the courtroom. So I would think that with or without your help, that they are watching what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I mean, listen, whether or not, I mean, clearly criminals are really dumb. I mean, not all criminals, but the ones that Fat Joe affiliate with, they're not that smart. I mean, if you look at what Pistol Pete did, just because TA kind of ribbed him a little bit and got under his skin, he sent the photo of himself on a burner account. What? What's the purpose of using a burner account if you're gonna disclose your identity, dummy? It's the same thing with Fat Joe. Oh, you would have never went to, you'd have never went anywhere if it wasn't for me. Well, who the hell else flew him out the country other than you, dummy? You know what I'm saying? It's like these people are just not smart at all. Like it's just not smart at all. And then you're doing this while you're campaigning for Kamala Harris for president of the United States. Are you crazy? Like it's like which makes sense as to why Rock Nation is like, yo, you know what? I can't be around this big dummy. Like if he can be so stupid and so reckless and so whatever, like I have to distance myself, which is smart. Like I have to give it to them. Like Rock Nation is very very smart. Desiree Perez is a savvy businesswoman, and she knows when to hold them and she knows when to fold them. And I think she is folding up this fat so and so as we speak because he is not smart at all. The one thing, listen, it's one thing to be a criminal, but then it's another thing to be a dumb criminal, and he's a dumb criminal. The fact of the matter is, you don't make threats via Instagram, and then create a handle that is indicative of your personal phrases. What is? Do you think it's hard to figure that out?
Yeah,
Are
the
you?
biggest in the game. I saw that. I'm like,
Yeah, come
that's a
on,
dead
man.
giveaway.
Come on. It's like it's like
Nobody
it's like.
calls themselves that. That's not
Like,
even a slang in hip hop culture. That's his AKA outside of Joey Crack and everything else. He coined that phrase himself. So seeing that, I'm like,
But you know what though? You know what I think is crazy, choke is the fact. I don't know if you're like super religious or anything like that, but I
trust
am.
me.
And the thing is, once Fat Joe said that he's a god, then God Almighty showed up and is now showing him who the real God is. So